Good morning, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom. I'm in the airport on the way back to Palm Beach for Shabbat after a week of a family vacation. And in the airport, everyone's carrying things. Everyone's schlepping their bags. And this week's Torah portion also talks about a big trip that the Jewish people were taking. They were leaving Egypt and going free, ultimately to Mount Sinai to receive the Torah and then to the land of Israel. And everyone was gathering their stuff. But the Torah tells us in the beginning of the Parsha that Moshe Rabbeinu went and took the bones, the casket, the remains of Joseph with him. Everyone was carrying their belongings, but Moses was carrying the coffin of Joseph. Why? Because the Torah says, Hashbeya Hishbiya, swore, an oath was taken by Joseph to the Jewish people that when they eventually left Egypt, they would take his remains for burial in the land of Israel. And the question is, why does it say that Moses took the bones of Joseph with him? Why the emphasis with him? And rabbis give a beautiful answer, and they say that everything we carry with us in this world, ultimately when we die, we can't take it any further than that. We cannot carry it with us into the next world. But there's one thing we take with us that we truly possess and keep for all of eternity and lives on even after we die, and is our legacy in this world. And that is our good deeds, the mitzvot that we did. So while all of the Jewish people were gathering their possessions, their gold and their silver, Moses was taking the one thing you can take with you, which is the good deed, the burial of Joseph. And why does it say Hashbeya Hishbiya, which is a double expression? Swore, he swore. An oath, he extracted an oath. Because Joseph knew that the generation that swore to take his bones out of Egypt would not live to see the redemption. And therefore they would have to take an oath, extract an oath from their children. Meaning it was an intergenerational oath. And therefore when Moses was fulfilling the promise of Joseph, it was the promise that was passed on from the generations. And so too each and every one of us carries the promises, the oaths, the commitments, the pledges, the responsibilities that were passed on to us as a Jewish people from numerous generations, going all the way back to the original generation of Jews that left Mount Sinai and left Egypt and went to Mount Sinai and took an oath to be a Jewish nation. We carry with us all of those values and teachings, and we pass them on to our children from generation to generation. There was a wealthy man, his name was Moshe Reichman, he lived in Toronto. When he died, he left 2 letters for his children. One said, "Open upon my passing," and the other one said, "Open after the Shiva." So they opened the first letter after his passing, and he said, "You know, I have one last request. In my drawer in my bedroom," he told them exactly where it was, "there's a special pair of socks. And when you bury me, I want to be buried in these socks." His children were very surprised. They didn't know anything about these socks and what's the meaning of it, but he asked for it. So they went to discuss it with the rabbi. The rabbi said, unfortunately, under Jewish law, everyone's buried the same way. Rich, poor, makes no difference. Everyone's buried in the shrouds. And under Jewish law, you can't wear the socks. Well, the rabbi said you can't, so they didn't. After the 7 days of the mourning period, they opened the second letter. And he said, "My dear beloved children and grandchildren, I want you to know that I'm well aware that I'm now in the world of truth, in the next world, and I'm not buried with my socks. I know the rabbi told you can't do it. Why did I ask you to bury me with my socks? Because this was my parting lesson to all of you. God has blessed us with great success, with wealth as a family. But I can't even take a pair of socks with me to the next world. But what do I take with me to the next world? All of the charity, all of the good deeds, all the acts of kindness and love and generosity and Torah and mitzvahs and all the wonderful things we did in this world. That's what I take with me, my eternal treasures. And therefore don't be overly consumed with money, because that's temporary and fleeting. Focus on what's eternal, what's everlasting, what's your true legacy in this world, which is your good deeds that travel with you to the next world and are with you for all of eternity. Moses carried the bones of Joseph. He took the mitzvah over the material possessions. We all carry things through life, but the most important thing is to carry those matters that truly matter, which is our commitment to our family, to our community, to our loved ones, to Hashem, to the Torah, and to the mitzvot. Shabbat Shalom.